At the end of our freshman year, we threw a big farewell party at a rented house on the outskirts of Bloomington. The music was loud, the place was packed, and at some point I suddenly felt really sick. Both bathrooms were occupied, so as a last resort, I ran outside and leaned into the bushes. When I finally finished and looked up, I froze. The house across the street had its lights on, and one of the windows was wide open. That was strange, because the owner, Mark, was actually at our party and lived alone. I walked closer and saw a random guy with a travel bag, frantically stuffing anything valuable he could find into it. It took a second to fully register what I was seeing, but once it hit me, I sprinted back inside and yelled that someone was robbing the neighbor's house. The girls immediately called the police. The guys, however, decided waiting wasn't an option. Someone grabbed brooms, another picked up a mop, and Lucas somehow showed up with an entire roll of duct tape. A group of drunk college guys rushed the house across the street. The burglar saw them, panicked, and tried to escape through the same window. He didn't make it. They tackled him in the yard and poked him with brooms, more to scare him than to actually hurt him. He lay there, absolutely terrified, as more people poured outside. That's when Lucas decided just holding him down wasn't enough and calmly started tying his hands and feet together. I still have no idea why the guy didn't resist. Things got even more surreal when someone brought out a giant trash bag. They slid his body inside, leaving only his head sticking out, and wrapped him up with duct tape like a Christmas present. He just kept mumbling that he'd never come back and begged us to let him go. The police still hadn't arrived. At that point, one genius suggested going to the dollar store to buy rubber bands. 10 minutes later, they returned, without rubber bands, but with an entire rope. I went back inside to check on everyone and see when the cops were supposed to arrive. About 5 minutes later, I came back outside and saw something I'll never forget. They had somehow tied the burglar upside down to a lamppost. He was hanging there like a human caterpillar. By then, we had dragged the speakers outside and basically continued the party around him. Someone even tried to offer him a beer, but drinking upside down didn't really work. A few neighbors came out to complain about the noise, but once they saw the guy and heard the explanation, they laughed and thanked us for catching a thief. When the police finally showed up, they tried their hardest to look serious, but you could tell they were struggling not to smile. Apparently, they'd been searching for this guy for a while and couldn't believe this was how he got caught. We didn't get in trouble, we were all adults, and nobody actually hurt him. The best part? The cops took him down, put him in the patrol car, and drove off without even unwrapping his human caterpillar costume.